Welcome to the Rebecca Adehill podcast. I want to start off by saying that I want my name to remind you to go and live your life big, to take risks, to go all in and write one hell of a story with the one life you know that you have. I'm a 7-figure business mentor, wife, and mother of 3, and I'm here to share my journey with you as I am constantly moving in the direction of more bigness, more impact, more wealth, more depth, and more life. My aim with this podcast is to activate and inspire you to go and live your life big in the fullest, most passionate way. I'm so glad that you are here, so let's dive right in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Rebecca Adehill podcast. I hope that you are having the most magical start to your week. I am feeling like all of the good vibes and all of the good energy at the moment. I just had a call with my incredible girls inside of my self-made mastermind, and I shared with them how much I have been laughing with my clients over the past few weeks. We always have a good time, but I find myself just feeling a lot of joy and laughter and having a lot of fun with my clients at the moment. And it makes the whole process so much more fun and enjoyable. And I did mention this specifically to all of my women who are business coaches and mentors, that it gets to be freaking fun along the way. We get to laugh. We get to really enjoy the ride. And regardless of what industry that you're in, I just want to open up this episode by saying that have a bit of fun. Like really start laughing some more. And I was in stitches with one of my private clients earlier this week because our conversation, it was so funny, but yet we getting shit done and we're working through things, but only because we're having brainy conversations and we're going to go places. That does not mean that we have to be serious every step of the way, that we can laugh and we can enjoy and we can share a beautiful moment together, which makes the whole process so much more fun. And I just want to say that I'm so here for that. Now, in today's episode, I want to have a conversation with you. I'm actually, again, having a bit of a giggle at myself because of the topic I've decided to speak about today. Because if I'm looking back at my upbringing, if I'm looking back at like one major part of my personality, maybe growing up, I questioned whether this was like a good thing about me or not, or a couple of things. But now I spoke to my mom earlier this week and I was like, see, I worked out good at the end. All of the stuff that we questioned about me, I turned out pretty good. So over the past 4 weeks, I have made over $135,000 in revenue, like cash in the bank, $135,000 plus over the past 4 weeks. And I think I mentioned this earlier in an earlier episode as well, that, you know, this is more than $250,000 in sales. So I've had a phenomenal kind of growth spurt in my business, and this is also a record month for me. And I just want to take a moment and really celebrate that. As you know by now, I'm definitely one to normalize conversation around money, but I think this type of wealth and, you know, these kind of results, they're becoming quite normal to me. And maybe they are very out of your reach right now if you are listening to this, or maybe you are coming closer to it. And regardless of where you are at right now, I really want you to own where you're at currently. And I mentioned this in an earlier episode as well, that if I'm looking back at my journey, something that I've really owned all along was to really celebrate and own where I was at the time. And I think my ability and why I can move and move and move to new levels is because of the normalization around the level that I'm currently at. Now, the conversation I want to have with you today, and I actually put an Instagram story up on this last night, and speaking to the fact of what the byproduct is of my $135,000 plus month. And the byproduct, I actually want to list a few off for you, because I feel like there's a bit of a pattern going on at the moment in the online world that we are so scared of working hard, and we are so loving the whole living on the beach, never working, and it's very much like taboo to kind of work hard. And I'm not saying that we're going to drive ourselves to complete burnout. I just want to highlight that. I'm not one that stands for let's fucking go for it, let's run ourselves into the wall and all or nothing kind of approach. It's not my vibe. However, when I'm looking back at my journey, when I'm looking back at the rapid growth that I've had, that did not come from me just cruising my way through these past like few years or even 7 years I've been in business. And I know I have specifically been doing business coaching for the past couple of years, but in saying that, I've had my businesses for the past 7 years. So it's been like one hell of a journey since I started my first ever business. Now, the first thing that I want to say, and before I even dive into the things I want to share with you right now, I want you to pay attention to what I am telling you. And some of these things you have without a doubt heard before. But this time, it's not going to be about how many times you've heard it in the past. It's actually about what you do with the information I am giving you. I want you to pay attention to what I just said. It's not about how many times you've heard the same thing over and over again. It's about what you do with the information that you have. Because if all of us did everything that we knew was going to be absolutely brilliant for our lives and our businesses and our health and our marriages and all the rest of it, our lives would look very different. So, the information that I'm about to give you, I want you to see if you can listen and absorb the information a little bit differently this time, to see if you can implement whatever I'm going to share with you a little bit differently this time. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is my consistency over the past couple of years specifically. Not once have I taken the foot off the gas. Not once. What I did in the beginning is that I was very clear of how much time and energy I was willing to put into my business. When I made that commitment to go, I'm happy to put 15 hours a week into my business, or if it's 20 hours, now it's probably closer to 20, 30 hours per week I'm spending inside of my business right now. As soon as I decided of how much time I was willing to put into the business, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to be consistent no matter what. Nothing, like there is nothing that could stop me in my way, because I made a commitment to myself and I decided to be consistent no matter what, even when I did not yet have the evidence to where I wanted to go. It's a very key aspect here. Who are you when you don't yet have the evidence for where you are going, when you have not yet seen the results to where you want to go? Now, that's a very good indication of how anchored and solid you actually are. Because we get so caught up in seeing the results and then getting validated from the results. So who are you being before you actually have the tangible results in your hands? And can you remain consistent throughout that process? That's the first thing. The second thing is my never giving up mindset. Never will I give up. The only time I can fail is when I give up. So for as long as I don't give up, I'm winning. Because if I haven't given up, I am moving. Even if I am moving slow, even if you are moving at a snail pace right now, you are still moving. And if you make a commitment and a promise to yourself that you will not give up, you will get there. 100% you will get there. And I have full confidence that I will achieve everything that I desire because I have made a commitment and a promise to myself that I will never give up. And when that is a non-negotiable, when that is instilled in you, there is no option for you to quit. And if I'm not quitting, I'm not losing. And when we are not even making that a choice of ours, we're going to keep on moving. And when we keep on moving, the likelihood of us getting to where we want to go will be far greater than us not moving at all. The third thing that I want to mention is that I am showing up even on the days when I don't feel like it. That my business does not run off good vibes. Maybe I'll bring the good vibes to you, but I'm not just going to show up when I have a beautiful day full of like unicorns and rainbows and butterflies. I show up even when I'm feeling emotional, even when I'm feeling down, even when I'm feeling annoyed and pissed off and tired. I make time for rest. I make time to like deal with the shit I got to deal with, but I still show up to work. Imagine if you had a shop front and you only showed up to work when you were like in the mood. Your business will crumble pretty quickly. And if you let your emotions dictate the way you lead yourself inside of your business, you're not going to last in the business space for very long. So a muscle that we need to train is our ability to show up even on the hard days, to show up on the days when we don't feel like it. That is called building up a level of resilience, not building a business on good vibes. That foundation is not solid. And if you are here to build a really solid business that is going to last for many, many, many years, you cannot rely on good vibes, full stop. Now, if you have the ability to bring a really fucking good attitude to your workplace, even when you have a shit day, now that's leadership. That's leadership, to be able to leave your shit at the door when you step into work and not take your garbage with you. That's leadership. And that is something that I've been able to master. The other thing that I want to share with you, as we all have this beautiful opportunity to be surrounded by incredibly talented people who run their online businesses, we have so much content at our fingertips. So maybe it's really easy for us to start to look right, start to look left, and start to look at what everybody else is doing. Now, that's going to slow down your pace because you are spending a lot of your time being distracted, looking at someone else's vision, looking at what they are doing, taking some of their stuff, blending that into yours, and then you're moving with that. Now, what's going to happen if you do that is that this may not even align with your vision. So being able to staying in your lane. And this is why before we even stay in our lane, we have to be really freaking clear to where we want to go. So we know what lane we want to take. But if you don't know what lane you want to take, that's probably why you're not moving at a rapid pace. Because at the moment, you're trying to run on like 5 different tracks at the same time. And you're like, why am I not moving? Like, think about like a racehorse. All they focus on is to run forward straight because they know where they're going. And the jockey on that horse, they know exactly where they're going. And that's the focus. But if we start to look right, if we start to look left, if we start to get distracted, that's going to slow us down. So mastering being able to stay in your lane and trusting yourself in that moment that whatever you are putting out to the table will be good enough. And my question for you right now, do you trust yourself? Do you back the things that you want to share with the world? Do you back your expertise? This is the first step, taking ownership over that. Because the moment you are taking ownership of the words that you speak and of the work that you do, the distractions on the side, they will just be distractions. And they will become so not relevant or important to you because you're like, I'm not going to waste my time looking right, looking left. Like, I spend minimal time looking at what other people are doing because it's not my path. If I ever have a scroll, I probably have a laugh. Like, I have a laugh, like I go through like a real scroll and I look at some funny things and I share them with Brody and be like, look at this, look at that. So I don't spend my time like looking at what other people are doing because I know it's going to slow me down. Because the best thing that I can do right now is to focus on me and focus on my path and focus on where I'm going. The next thing, when I mentioned earlier, do you believe in your expertise on the things that you are sharing with the world? Now, the ownership and the authority also comes from having a really deep understanding and knowledge of your audience, knowing where they're at, knowing where they are going. So if you can master, I want every single person that are listening to this podcast, every single person that consumes my content, I want them to feel like I am speaking directly to them, that I'm speaking directly to you. Because I have a really deep understanding of who my audience is and how I am serving them. Now, when I know that really well, and I show that to my audience, that is also going to give me the authority and the ownership and the credibility in the space. And also, it's going to give me the credibility for the people that I'm here to serve. They're going to feel that when I'm speaking directly to them. And one other thing that I actually don't want to shy away from is how important your strategy actually is. Like, looking at your business model, first of all, look at the financials of your business. And if you are not even on top of your numbers, if you are not one to sit down and crunch your own numbers every single month, that's your homework for the week. Go and look at your numbers, go and look at your business model and see where perhaps we have a leak, where you are not aligned. Also the financial goals you have for your business. How are you meeting them? And what's the strategy and the roadmap there? That I see way too many businesses completely and totally just winging it. I'm just going to try that, and I'm just going to try that, and I'm just going to try that. We are just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it's going to stick. And I love a bit of flow, and I love to be, allowing for that spaciousness inside of our businesses to allow for us to be creative, to do something, with innovation and do something new that maybe something we haven't tried before. I love to leave room for that. But I still have a really solid strategy and client journey that is the core foundation of my business. That my numbers and the revenue that I'm making is just not just like made up and be like, whoops, that just happened. Like, I can see it very clearly. It's very calculated how that's going to happen. Now, Can I control whether that's going to happen or not? No, I can't. Because I can't control whether people are going to hit buy or not. And that leads me to my next point. I control the things I can control. I can't control whether people are going to buy from me or not, but I can control how I market my business, how I show up in my business, who I be inside of my business and in my life. There are so many things that I can control, so I don't focus on the things that I can't control. But I want to highlight this when it comes to the financial goals that you have inside of your business. Stop winging it. Get really clear on the financial goals that you have inside of your business. See what the gap currently is and work out the gap. And align that with a really solid strategy and a really anchored human behind the business. And commit to yourself that you are going to be consistent and don't slow down or stop no matter what. You will get there. You will get there. It doesn't matter how big your goals are. And whatever strategy that got you, if you are sitting at, I'm going to say, a 5K month right now, and you want to get to 10K, whatever got you to like 5K, maybe you can get to 10K with the same strategy. But I'm going to argue if you are sitting at 20K, 30K, want to get to 100K, the same strategy won't get you there. Maybe not even the same business model will get you there. So now I want to lean into your ability to be able to pivot your business model to actually suit the financial goals that you have set for your business. Because maybe right now, the business model that you are currently operating in is actually not supporting a 100K month. So look at that, because then you're going to feel less emotional about the numbers inside of your business, and you're going to feel more anchored because they are rooted and grounded in strategy. Now, the next thing that I want to share with you, that I have a zero excuses policy inside of my business. Zero excuses. All ownership and responsibility for everything in my business. Zero excuses. I don't want to hear them, Rebecca. I don't hold space for them. Zero excuses. Because I know that's a standard I need to hold myself at if I want to get to where I want to go. And that's not going to be for everyone. I've mentioned this on another podcast that I could have so many excuses as to why I'm tired, as to why I'm this, as to why I'm that. But I'm not, because I have a zero excuses policy inside of my business. And I am telling you, it's working wonders. Because I don't hold space for all of the excuses and all of the inside of my business. It's like, okay, where are you at? Where are you going? What are we going to do today? How are you going to move the needle today? This is discipline. Discipline. Like, when did discipline not become a thing anymore? Can someone please tell me that, when that did not become a vibe? Tell me one successful person that did not have to instill a level of discipline in order for them to get to where they want to go. This goes with any career, any talent, any musician, any athlete, any entrepreneur, anything. Discipline. Because I believe the moment you are instilled in discipline is actually when you set yourself free. Having a routine, having discipline, making a commitment to yourself, that to me is freedom. The other thing that I want to share with you is something that I found really important, but it's also an art in terms of how to truly master this. In terms of the normalization around this kind of wealth and any level of success and your next level and where you're at currently, that if you make it out for it to be luck or a fluke, or if it's, oh, maybe that just happened once and it will never happen again, most likely that's true because you hold that belief. But I believe it must be a level of normalization that comes with every level that you're at. That if this feels really shaky and uneasy, and it can feel unfamiliar, but we're going to have to learn to really identify what that feeling is. Because if you've only ever done it once, it's going to feel a little bit familiar. But in order for you to be able not just to like grow, but to even hold the level that you're at currently. If you are someone in business right now that you go up and down and up and down, you have a good month and then going down and then up and then down and then up and down, maybe we need to do, there could be two things. Maybe we need to do some energy work behind the scenes, or there could be a level of strategy that, or it could be a combination of the two. But if you have constant like spikes and dips and spikes and dips, maybe it could be a strategy thing. But I also believe in the normalization around the level of success that you are available for. So I make it very obvious, very clear, and very normal to be at the level that I'm at. And also, I'm getting very clear in terms of what I need to do to realign myself to the level I am going. Key part right there. The final thing I want to share with you today, and the reason why I had a bit of a chuckle earlier in the beginning of this episode, I believe this trait in me and in any entrepreneur, if you are listening to this, I have a feeling we're going to have this one in common. And that is that I am so competitive. I am so competitive. It's like almost ridiculous. And I have been competitive for as long as I can remember. And my fellow sisters out there, if you are competitive, can you just like please drop into my DMs and let me know? Because I need to like find my people. I am so fucking competitive, like ever since I was like a little kid. And I think this is like instilled from, my brother and I, we grew up playing sport. Both of our parents, they played sport their whole life. And, we come from a very kind of competitive family. And my dad was always one to like push me to my next level. And he's so beautiful. He's always had so much faith and trust in me and, in whatever success and whatever goal I set out. It was like obvious to him that I was going to make it. And, we can look at these from like both ends of the spectrum right now, that it's like, that's a really positive. And also maybe this makes sense where, I'm somewhat addicted to achievement. That's a story for another time. But I remember a couple of times he would like have congratulate me for getting my driving license, like before I'd even sat my driving test. And he congratulated me on a job, and he like called up, my mom or like a couple of friends and told me that I got in a job, but I haven't even done the interview yet. It was like assumed that I would get all of the things that I set my mind to, which I'm really appreciative of that today. But I think it did instill like a level of pressure in me performing. But looking back at that now, and even the way I am leading myself right now, I'm extremely competitive. And maybe also this is like, a second child thing. I have an older brother, I'm the second child. And it's like, I feel like second children, we have this thing about us. We're like, we're not going to be second only because we came out second. It does not mean that I'm going to be second. I'm going to beat you. That kind of vibe. So I'm so competitive. And even to the point, like now I go like 10-pin bowling with the kids and I'm like, I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to win. And Brody's like, can you just chill for a bit? Like, you're playing 10-pin bowling with the kids. And I was like, they're not following the rules. We got to follow the rules and I got to win. And I get so like everything that I do, it's like I play golf and I'll be like, I'm going to go get my outfit. I'm going to go get my shoes. I'm going to get my glove and I'm going to go and play golf and I'm going to be the fucking best at it. And I had not done any training and then I go and find a city to surf. Like, who am I? Why am I? I'm so competitive. And I've looked back at that. I'm actually giggling at myself because I don't like to lose. And sometimes I've almost felt a bit ashamed for like being a bad loser. That I'm like, I don't like it, and I can get really not so much grumpy anymore, but I used to like when I was younger, it used to like destroy like my week if I lost like a game of sport or something. It would just, like I would lose my marbles. So now I think I can control it a little bit better, that I may not get pissed off, but I don't like losing. And I think I feel like there's almost like a lot of like shame in the online space at the moment to say they want to be the best. So maybe I'm just going to lead the way and say that I want to be the fucking best. I want to be the best. I want to get to the top. I want to be well known. I want to be the one that is paving the way in my industry. Period. I want to be the best. And I am not saying that it's going to be room for all of us, because my version of like being the best may be different to your version of being the best. So this is not like competing with other people as such. But I want to be the best. I want to get to the top. I want to play with the big dogs. Like that's where I'm going. It's like I did not start my own business for it to just be okay, for it to be average, for me to like just get by. And I think, and I actually asked this question inside of my self-made mastermind today. I'm like, hand up if you're competitive. Every single person on that call gave me like a double hand. They're like, me. And they all cracked up laughing. And they're like, who can go play sport with the kids without actually wanting to win? And they were all in stitches because we're all the same. And I believe this trait is actually essential in business if we want to be successful. That I think it's absolutely essential for us to be competitive in business. And I'm saying that we can absolutely, we must be fair along the way. And this is not about, having it like a dirty game at all. But I hope that you are feeling so freaking passionate about your path, and I hope that you're in the game to win. I hope that whatever winning looks like for you, whatever getting to the top looks like for you, I hope that you have a level of competitiveness in you that will get you there. Because now when we are backing your competitive side with a never giving up mindset, with consistency, with staying in your lane, with being deeply rooted and having a really deep understanding of your audience and how you serve them and how you move them, and understanding strategy and having zero excuses policies inside of your business, you will get to the top. You will get to the top. But for as long as you don't take ownership, and for as long as you're like, I'm half in, yeah, I'm just going to have this as a side thing, you're not going to get to the top. Like, we're all in. Like, I'm all in or nothing kind of person. And this comes with everything. And this is why I become really good at everything that I do. Like, teach me how to do something and I will learn how to do it. And there's like a part of me is like, oh, I wonder if that's going to sound a bit like Dickie. And fuck no. Like, no, it's not, because I don't want to shy away from these things that are absolutely essential. We have to pick us. You have to want to get to the top. So in order for you to do that, you're going to have to be a bit competitive. You're going to have to be like, I am here to take up space. I'm here to make myself known. I'm here to make myself seen. People are not going to come find me because there are going to be a lot of people out there that are very competitive. And if you want to get to the top, you're going to have to be one of them. I hope you have loved today's episode. If today's episode resonated with you, I would love if you could leave me a review and share what your biggest takeaway was in today's episode. Also, drop into my DMs. I'm having so many beautiful, delicious conversations in my DMs right now. I'm having so much fun with it. Thank you all for being here, for listening, for tuning back in. If this was your very first time listening to me, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I appreciate you. I hope that you all have the best day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next week for another episode.